everyone. Today we are going to discuss and recall about implicit, higher order, and application of derivatives. By the way, I am Reva Villarmino. Without further ado, let's get started. First is implicit differentiation. Implicit equation involves two variables. Y are written implicitly as a function of x. When deriving implicit equation, always to remember of what term to be derived respect to b. So, example. So, we have here y is equals to x squared times y plus y squared times x. So, let's assume that y is some function of x and we derive it with respect to x. So, first, derive both sides by dx or respect to x. Then, using product rule to derive the term or each term. Next is so as you can see here, as y is a function, so we are using chain rule. So where we derive first the outer function, then the inner function, which is the d over dx. Then it is same here, the dy over dx. Next is to simplify. Then after that, you must move the term with dy over dx to the left side of the equation. Then factor it with its common factor dy over dx. Then divide both sides by the 1 minus x squared minus 2xy. Then it will cancel out. Then the result is dy over dx equals xy plus y squared over 1 minus x squared minus 2xy. So next is the higher order derivative. Basically means where we're going to derive the equation. When we derive the equation for the first time, we call it first derivative. If we derive the first derivative, we call it second derivative. When we derive the second derivative, we call it third derivative, and so on. Higher order derivatives is very useful in advanced calculus. We can use it in the real world applications such as finding maxima and minima using second derivative test and the time rates. So, in the given example, we are going to find the second derivative. So, the equation is y is equals to x plus 1 cube times the square root of 3x over minus 5. So, as you can see, there are two terms, then we can then multiply by each other, then we can use product rule. So, or here, so the square root of 3x rather, minus 5 is equals to 3x minus 5 raised to 1 half. So, it is basically the same. So, first we get the product rule. So, then, after that, so, the first term is basically, we can use the chain rule, and also the second term can use chain rule. As you can see here, that first term times the derivative of the second term, so we can use the chain rule. So, 1 half going to the front, then copy the inner function minus raised to 1 half minus 1, so equals to negative 1 half. Then the derivative of the inner function, so it is the same here. So here is the derivative of the first term times the second term. Then when we add together, so it is a matter of simplification here. Then so after that, so we will factor out the, as we can see here. So let's go back. So as we can see here, so after we put the derivatives of after we put the derivatives of each term, so it is a matter of simplification. So here, so 3 times 1/2 equals 3 over 2. So here in the bracket, so times 3x minus 5 raised to 1/2. So it is the same here, so 1. So basically it nothing changed. Then it is then here, so we multiply this 3 over 2 times this term in the parentheses. Then here is also nothing changed. Then after that, we bring down the 3x minus 5 raised to 1/2 ay negative 1/2 because it is placed correctly. So it bring down to the denominator. Then after that, after this, so we have the common term here, di ba? The common term, so we use factoring to make it to simplify it. So here, so 1/2 ay x plus 1 raised squared rather times here, di ba? Here, concede that we divide it, so it becomes x plus 1 times 3 over 2 times 3x minus 5 raised to 1/2, then plus 3 times 3x minus 5 raised to 1/2. So then so we are by multiplying these two terms, then the answer is this. So 3 times x plus 1 over 2 times 3x minus 5 plus here 3 times 3x minus 5 raised to 1/2. So after that, so in order to combine these two terms, we multiply the second term by the denominator of the first term, just like this, in order to add them up or to combine them. Then it is a matter of simplification. So here, so we are going to simplify. Then we distribute the 6 to this parentheses. Then we come up into the answer of the first derivative. So we have an answer of the first derivative of the equation equals to x plus 1 x plus 1 squared times 21x minus 27 over 2 times 3x minus 5 raised to 1/2. So we can also simplify this by distributing. No. We cannot die. So here, that is the simplified derivative of the equation. So next is to derive it again. The first derivative, we derive it again to get the second derivative. So here, can see that we use product rule again. So we get the derivative of the first term at the same time in the second term. So before that, because it is so long, so we shorten it up by using variable. So we let u is equals to the first term and the v is the second term. So first, we get, as you can see here, that the second term prime and the first term prime. So first we get the derivative of each term in order to proceed. So the u prime or the first term prime is equals to, so again we use chain rule because it has an outer function and inner function. So 2 times x plus 1 raised to 2 minus 1, so equals to 1. Then the derivative of the inner function, which is 1, equals to 2x plus 2. So we have the u prime 2x plus 2. Then in the b prime, so we use quotient rule as the term is 21x over 21x minus 27 over 2 times 3x minus 5 raised to 1 half. So we use quotient rule. So as you can see here, so quotient rule is equals to the second term times the derivative of the first term minus the first term times the derivative of the second term over second term squared. So as you can see here, the derivative of the first term is 21. So second term times 21. Then here is the first term, 21x minus 27. Then the derivative of the second term, which is 3x minus 5 raised to negative 1 half. So we use chain rule times 3, the derivative of the inner function over the second term. So it is a matter of simplification here. So we come up and v prime. So it is a very long process when we get the second derivative. So after a matter of simplification, so we come up an answer. So the b prime is equals to 63x minus 129 over 12x minus 20 times 3x minus 5 raised to 1 half, or the square root, or we can transform it into the square root of 3x minus 5. So we got the u prime and the p prime. So let's copy it up. Then we get an answer of y double prime, or the second derivative, is equals to x plus 1 squared times 63 minus 21 over 12x minus 20 times 3x minus 5 raised to 1 half plus 21x minus 27 over 2 times 3x minus 5 raised to 1 half times 2x plus 2. So it is a very long process. So depending on your understanding, you can get it easily, or you can get the pattern if we use the general formula, which is I didn't ask to do it, so let's proceed. Next is the application of derivatives. Using the foundation we learn in calculus, so from the power rule, how to differentiate monomial, trinomial, binomial. So we can use it in real life. So calculus is very useful in real life, especially in engineering, where we deal numbers, or where we deal changes. So one of the example of the application of derivatives in the modern world is maxima and minima and time rates. So in solving a problem, especially in maxima and minima, we just remember the 6 steps. So first is to draw the figure when necessary. The second is identify what or which to find. Then 3, formulate. Then 4 is to reduce to one variable. So then 5, differentiate or to derive. Then 6, equate to 0. So as we can see in the previous discussion, that we can use the second derivatives to find the maxima and minima. So right now I am only tasked to do the time rates. So let's do the time rate. So we have an example here. So the water flowing into the conical cistern at the rate of 8 meters cube per minute. So this is the dv over dt. So the derivative of v, or the volume, in terms or in respect to t, which is 8 meters cube per minute. So then if the height of the inverted cone is 12 m, or 12 meters, and the radius of its circular opening is 6 meters, how fast is the water level rising when the water is 4 meters deep? So as I say, the first step is to draw the figure when necessary. So first, let's transform the formula. So we are using the formula of the cone, which is 1/3 times radius squared times height. So first, in order to reduce it into one variable, as we can see in the formula of cone, it has two variables, which is the height and the radius. So we are allowed to use one. So so in order to make that happen, we are going to use relationships, so between terms. So here we can use ratio and proportion to transform r in terms of h. So we are going to use h here as our one variable. So first, so as you can see here, the radius over h is equals to 6 over 12 as as given in the figure. So the height is 12 and the radius is 6. Then we can cross multiply, then we come up into 12r equals to 6h. Then cancel both sides by 12, then we have a radius of equals to h over 2. Then we plug in into the formula of the cone. So when we plug in, it becomes volume is equals to pi h cube over 12. So after that, then we derive both sides with respect to time. So at this time, we use implicit differentiation. So when using implicit differentiation, so diba, the first we do is to derive both sides but with the respect to time or t, because we are going to find we are use we, because the we are going to find the dh over dt, which is the change of height in terms of time. So then we are going to derive it. The left side is going to dv over dt at the left side, so we are going to use quotient rule. So as you can see here, so the first term times the derivative of the second term times the derivative of the first term. Then we can see here dh over dt, because because h is like a sum function of t. So using chain rule, we come up to this answer, or to this answer of the derivative of the first term. Then the second term times 0, because the derivative of a constant is 0, over the second term, which is 12 squared. Then it is a matter of simplification. Then we come up to this. So the dv over dt is equals to pi h squared over 4 times dh over dt. So next is the problem said we are going to find the dh over dt when the height is 4 meters. So next to do is to substitute. Then the dv over dt as given is equals to 8. So we are going to substitute it. Then the height given is 4. So it is, by the matter of simplification, then we are going to have an answer of 0.64 minutes 64 meter per minute. So we have so the water So the answer of the problem is 64.64 meters per minute, the flow of water when it reaches the height of 4 meters. And that's all. Thank you, and may God bless us all.